Hello, my name is Finley McGinty, and I'm a student leader at Mercy High School. I'm applying for the Presidential Fellowship at Stevenson University for one of many reasons. I would like to start off by saying that I fell in love with Stevenson before I stepped foot on the campus and before I stepped foot in high school. My mom, a field hockey and lacrosse coach for Village Julie up until 1995, met my father, the first athletic trainer contacted when Village Julie switched from club sports to NCAA. They fell in love on campus and talked nothing but incredible things about their beautiful campus and community life since then. I also want to pursue a career in nursing. I'm a passionate student and a hard-working individual that puts their community first, a community that gave so much to me. That's why I will also be addressing the question about community in this video. I grew up in a small row house in Parkville, Maryland, where my door was always colored blue and we always had a festive wreath hanging, no matter the season or the holiday. My house had 3 bedrooms, one for my parents, and technically one spacious room split in half, the larger side going to my brother and my room on the other. Unfortunately, my brother is 5 years older than me, so I lived my whole life following behind my brother's footsteps, forever cast in his shadow. I love my family. I'm a family person, and I think that they are my best friends and my closest confidants, but I just never felt seen compared to my brother. I knew I needed a change, not the kind where you get a bob, an unfortunate choice I made during COVID, or running away. I needed a completely new and unfamiliar environment where I could pave my own path. The first 15 years of my life were spent at a Quaker institution known as the Friends School of Baltimore. It is a K-12 private school for which we are taught the Quaker values. While my brother sought to continue his education at the Friends School of Baltimore and excel in his studies as an athletic trainer, following in my father's footsteps, I sought a different path. When 8th grade hit, my mom asked if I wanted to look at any new high schools. This was where I saw my decision to either stay somebody's little sister or to be myself, Finley McGinty. It was my dad and mom that pushed me to look at Mercy High School. My dad is an athletic trainer for the Archbishop Curley, an all-Catholic, all-boys school that connects to Mercy High School, and my mom, a hardworking physical education teacher for the Friends School of Baltimore. I still had my doubts about applying to Mercy High School until I heard about their sister Agnes Newman Scholars Program that partners with MedStar Good Samaritan to work with multiple nurses in many different fields and shadow and intern them as a way to discover our passion for medicine. I knew going into middle school I wanted to help people when I was older. My aunt and my uncles are all registered nurses and or nurse practitioners now, and they offered me different internships to help me find what I love, and I loved nursing, especially in the ER and ICU. Picking a new school was harder than I ever imagined. I had to choose between a place I was comfortable with and a place that could sell my future. In the end, I knew I needed to choose my passion and finally pave my own path. The choice to make a new school took a really big toll on my mental health, and I felt myself regress. I was struggling more than I would like to admit and fell into a bad habit of isolation. Mercy High School's orientation always started the day before the official school year began. We were going on a field trip with our grade, filled with community building activities and fun little icebreakers that the teachers promised would let us get to know each other more. To say I dreaded this day was an understatement. Our freshman trip was to Genesee Valley, where we all had matching shirts and were put into separate groups where we were supposed to not know anybody, and we would partake in different community building exercises like obstacle courses and other fun little mini games. The half-an-hour bus ride there was nothing short of awkward, and while I sat next to a girl I played soccer with at Mercy, we were still too unfamiliar and much too introverted to make real conversation. Her name was Delaney, and as by the time we had arrived, everyone had already made small groups with people they had known either from other sports activities or from similar middle schools. I made a quick exit and tried to stay where I felt most familiar, in the shadows. Eventually, we were forced to split up into groups, and I ended up face to face with a girl, tall and confident, with curly hair tied back in a tight ponytail. Her name was Jackie, and she was my first friend at Mercy. Our group was one of the first to head into the woods for a series of team-building obstacle courses, one of which involved a hanging wire where blocks would break up the wire every couple of inches. The obstacle course was known as the Firecracker, and it looked like my worst nightmare. The course required 2 spotters to hold on to one end of the wire so that as one person climbed, if they were to fall, they would be suspended in air by the tension of the wire. Who wanted to hold the wire first, and who wanted to climb first? I know I didn't want to climb first, so I volunteered to hold the wire. Somebody else also raised their hand, and that person ended up being Jackie. Where we came from middle school, and what kind of music we liked. We both actually ended up liking the same artist, Frank Ocean, and we had a common interest when it came to movies. I loved How to Train Your Dragon, and she loved How to Train Your Dragon. Since our job was to stay on the ground and be spotters for the people climbing, holding onto the wire to make sure no one fell off, we watched person after person unsuccessfully climb up. The ordeal started to become funnier and funnier as we watched everyone struggle up the course, both knowing we would look the exact same in a matter of minutes. After the last person had gone, it was Jackie's turn, and she made it a whole 2 blocks before falling. The sheer sound of her laughter after falling sparked something inside my chest, and I couldn't help, and I began to laugh with her. We laughed so hard, tears fell from our faces, and it was my turn to climb up, and I fell down. Our stomachs hurt so much, we both assumed we had grown abs under our shirts. She and I remained together the rest of our trip, getting to know each other. She and I both have older brothers, and both wanted to go into the medical field when we were older. The friends I made through Mercy unknowingly showed me a different version of myself, one that I am proud of today. They assured me that I would never feel alone, and they always pushed me to be the best version of myself. I went against myself and ran for leadership positions my freshman year after the encouragement and support of my friends. I felt a light peek through the shadow, and I finally felt like me again. I ran for freshman steering committee, sophomore steering committee, junior steering committee, and senior steering committee, as well as went to become the youngest student council officer and secretary for 2 years, and then later on president of student council my senior year. From shouting in the hallways, "Vote for Finley," to helping me put up posters and flyers and handing out various treats during election day, my friends have always supported my interest in leadership and pushing me to be a better version of myself and a better leader for my Mercy community. The support didn't end when I ran for different leadership positions. They were shouting my name when I was up on the stage playing my cello and when I was up to bat playing softball, similar to how I would do the same thing for them to let them know I was there for them, and that I was proud of them, and I was there to encourage them. The sisterhood I found at Mercy didn't stop when I wasn't playing an instrument, a sport, or running for a leadership position. They also supported me through some of the hardest challenges of my life. At the end of my sophomore year, while playing softball, I overran third base and unfortunately tore my ACL and lateral meniscus, causing at least a year's recovery and forcing me out of sports. It was made clear to me on day 1, since I had found out I had the injury, that I would not be alone in this process. I had every intention of isolating myself from everyone, but from the beginning, it was clear I was no longer alone, and by the time the surgery day had come, my phone was blowing up with text messages wishing me luck and letting me know they loved me. The Mercy High School Sisterhood became beautiful pillars for me to lean on, but also to cherish throughout the rest of my life. I wanted to become a leader at Mercy, to give the community back what they'd given to me. Endless hope, a chance to be myself, and a hope for a better future.
So, when asked the question, what community has supported me throughout high school and helped me work towards my success, my answer will be Mercy High School. I am a hardworking and passionate individual who just wanted to lead her class and give back to a community that had given so much to her. I ran all 4 years for a steering committee member where I presented different ideas to our grade and showed why I think I would best be a leader for our class and advocate for us in times in need. I also ran for our student council officer all 4 years, becoming the youngest student council officer my freshman and sophomore year, and later running for student council president my senior year. I helped organize fundraisers such as our annual food drive to Paul's Place, as well as working with many different organizations such as BSU, Peer Education, and Peer Ministry. I wanted to create an atmosphere of equity and inclusiveness, and I wanted to make sure people knew that their voices could be heard. That was what I told people in my student council speech when presenting it to the entire student body as they thought who should be voted to be our next student council president. My job as a leader is to hear people, hear what they have to say, and advocate for them when they cannot advocate for themselves. These are qualities for which Mercy has built in me and qualities I plan to bring to Stevenson. I know I want to pursue nursing as I go into my college years, but I want to keep my leadership expertise up to date, and I think that by going to Stevenson, I can only grow as a person and a leader at Stevenson University. I thank you so much for listening to my application, and I hope you consider me to be a recipient of the Presidential Fellowship at Stevenson University. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Have a good day.